Imagine a future where the natural world itself is programmable, where tiny little creatures are actually remote controlled. Well, that future, it might be closer than you think. Thanks to some really recent breakthroughs in what we're calling the robotics revolution.
Yeah, it's moving fast.
We're about to take a deep dive into a whole stack of fascinating articles, some cutting-edge research, industry updates, stuff that shows just how rapidly this field is evolving.
And our mission today really is to cut through all that noise. We want to reveal not just what's happening, at the very edge, but crucially, why it fundamentally matters to you.
Right.
We'll dig into the surprising advancements, the pretty profound questions they raise, and what these innovations actually mean for industries and, yeah, even for your daily life.
So consider this your shortcut to getting really well informed on something that's, well, actively shaping our collective future.
Exactly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. And maybe start with something that, honestly, it sent a bit of a shiver down my spine when I first read it.
Oh, which one's that?
Chinese scientists.
Yeah.
They just achieved something pretty wild. Remote-controlled cyborg bees.
Cyborg bees, right. I saw this one. It's out there.
Yeah. So researchers at the Beijing Institute of Technology, they've engineered this breakthrough. They've created these bees controlled by what they're calling the world's lightest insect brain controller.
And it's tiny, right? Like, unbelievably small.
Just 74 milligrams. I mean, that's lighter than a grain of rice. It's hard to even picture.
Yeah.
And this tiny device, it's strapped onto the bee's back. It interfaces directly with its brain using 3 ultrafine needles.
Directly into the brain. Okay.
And by sending these targeted electronic pulses, the controller can actually command the bee, tell it to turn, move forward, retreat, all mid-flight.
And the control is pretty precise, isn't it?
That's the kicker. In their controlled experiments, these bees followed commands with a 90% success rate. It's remarkable.
Wow.
And the integration, they say, is seamless. The circuits are printed on this polymer film that's as thin and flexible as an insect wing. So minimal impact on their actual flight.
What's really striking here, I think, isn't just the miniaturization, though that's amazing in itself. It's the level of precision in this animal-machine integration.
Yeah.
You're talking about direct neural control over a living creature. It's a big step.
So right now they're tethered by power cables.
For now, yes. They're still tethered by power cables, but I mean, they're literally just one battery breakthrough away from going fully wireless, fully untethered.
And the implications of that?
Well, the immediate implication is pretty clear, isn't it? They could, pretty soon, potentially, be deployed for really sensitive missions. Think disaster zones where humans can't go.
Or covert operations.
Or even covert operations, exactly. It sounds like something out of science fiction.
Yeah, it really does.
But stepping back a bit, this tech doesn't just open up new sort of operational possibilities. It throws open a huge ethical debate, really. Where do we draw the line? This is a really stark demonstration of how close we are to blurring the very definition of, biological life and engineered machinery.
Right.
It really makes you ask, what happens when the natural world itself becomes essentially a programmable part of a technological system? It challenges our fundamental ideas about where nature ends and technology begins.
Wow. Okay, so from bioengineered insects,
Yeah.
mind-blowing precision,
Yeah.
to something totally different now. How about democratizing robot access?
Yeah.
Making it available for everyone.
Yeah, the Hugging Face news.
Exactly. This next story really highlights how robotics is expanding, not just in complexity, but accessibility. Hugging Face is making this bold play to bring robotics onto, well, practically every desk.
And they had that huge launch, right?
Huge. Their Reachy Mini bots just hit the scene and immediately pulled in $500,000 in sales in the first 24 hours.
$500,000. Wow.
And these aren't some, super expensive, complex machines locked away in a lab. They're open source. They run on a Raspberry Pi 5.
Which lots of people know, very accessible little computer.
Totally. And they come as DIY kits. So the whole open source thing is key. Accessibility is the name of the game here. The light version, $299, needs a wire. The wireless one is $449, runs on Wi-Fi and battery.
And what's really significant here, I think, is that Hugging Face isn't just, selling robot parts. They're fundamentally trying to democratize the creation side of robotics and AI.
Right, the whole ecosystem.
Exactly. This open source approach, it's kind of a massive, sometimes overlooked revolution in itself. It shifts power from these closed corporate labs to this global community of tinkers and innovators. So users can tap into Hugging Face's massive library, like 1.7 million AI models, 400,000 data sets for vision, speech control, you name it.
Wow.
And the Reachy Mini's appeal is really its hacker-friendly heart, as they put it. It's a Python programmable playground. It really challenges that often overpriced sort of closed-box robotics world.
So it makes advanced AI genuinely accessible for developers, educators.
Even curious kids. Yeah, it's lowering the barrier significantly.
That does sound incredibly disruptive and mostly positive. But are there potential downsides to this open source hardware approach? Like, what about quality control or even security when anyone can build their own?
That's a really crucial point. Yeah. While open source definitely fosters incredible innovation and speed, you're right, it does mean responsibility for quality control and potentially security gets distributed.
Okay.
The community often self-polices pretty effectively, but yeah, it shifts the burden from one single manufacturer to the individual builder or the wider ecosystem. It's a trade-off, you know? Rapid innovation versus centralized control.
And Hugging Face is betting on innovation.
Clearly betting on innovation, yeah.
Okay, so we've seen robots shrink down to insects. We've seen them become desk companions. But where are the humanoids? The ones that look like us? Where are they actually making an impact now?
Healthcare is a big one.
Right. Turns out critical sectors like healthcare are really starting to embrace them. There's an Austin-based startup, Diligent Robotics.
I know them. Moxie.
That's the one. They just hired 2 former executives from Cruise, you know, the GM self-driving company.
Oh, interesting. High-profile hires.
Yeah, Rash Hack is joining as CTO and Todd Brugger as COO. And these guys have serious scale-up experience. They helped grow Cruise's robotaxi fleet past 5 million driverless miles.
Wow, okay. That's significant experience to bring into the medical robotics space.
Definitely signals ambition.
Yeah, and what really stands out for me with Diligent is their strategic push from just, pilot programs to real-world widespread adoption, especially in a place like healthcare, which is such a demanding environment.
Right. Hospitals are not easy places to just drop new tech into.
Not at all. And Diligent's robots, they're designed to automate those routine, often quite repetitive tasks. Things like delivering medicines, transporting supplies, general logistics within the hospital.
And their main robot, Moxie. It's already out there.
Yeah, Moxie's already deployed in more than 25 healthcare networks,
Yes.
and they've raised, I think, $90 million in venture funding to really push this expansion.
90 million.
The driving force is pretty clear. There's this soaring demand for automation because hospitals are just scrambling to fill staffing gaps everywhere.
Makes sense.
So bringing in executives with experience scaling robotaxi fleets, getting cars to drive millions of miles autonomously, that's a really telling sign of their ambition.
So what are they aiming for?
They're aiming to deploy thousands of hospital robots by 2030. Thousands. That's an incredibly ambitious push into an arena that demands, extreme safety, absolute precision, total compliance.
Yeah, you can't have mistakes in a hospital.
Exactly. It's really a testament to the growing trust being placed in these machines for genuinely critical functions.
That is incredibly ambitious, thousands by 2030.
Yeah.
What do you think is the single biggest challenge Diligent faces in scaling up Moxie? Going from 25 networks to potentially thousands, is it the tech itself, or is it more about regulations and getting humans comfortable in the hospitals?
At the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the thousands of robots question.
Right.
Look, the tech itself is getting really robust, but often the biggest hurdle shifts from just pure technical capability to the integration challenges.
Fitting it in.
Exactly. It's about navigating those really complex hospital workflows, making sure Moxie works seamlessly with existing systems, existing infrastructure, and maybe most importantly, managing the human acceptance side. The training.
Getting the staff on board.
Getting staff comfortable with robots handling sensitive tasks, especially things like medicine delivery that requires meticulous planning, constant communication, and building trust. Regulation is definitely part of it, but often, that human element. That proves to be the trickiest piece of the puzzle when you scale.
Got it. Okay, let's look behind the scenes a bit.
Yeah.
A key enabler for all these robots, whether they're flying bees, desk bots, or hospital helpers, is sensors and machine vision. How do they actually see?
The eyes of the robot, essentially.
Exactly. And Intel's actually spinning off RealSense.
Mhm.
That's their AI, robotics, and biometrics unit. They're giving it a fresh $50 million in funding to go independent.
Right, RealSense. They're known for their advanced 3D depth cameras, perception modules. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
And stepping back, this spin out, it's actually a huge deal because it basically frees RealSense to chase innovation at like startup speed after being under the big Intel umbrella for, 14 years?
Right. Let's be more agile.
Totally. And their cameras are already used everywhere, not just by robotics companies like Diligent, actually.
Oh, yeah. Who else?
Drone makers use them a lot, AR/VR developers, industrial automation teams like SEKAG, a big player there.
So they're pretty embedded already.
Very embedded. And this new independence means they're planning to launch entirely new product lines. They want to push the envelope in spatial sensing, edge AI, biometric authentication too.
Edge AI meaning the processing happens on the device itself.
Exactly. Less reliance on the cloud, faster reaction times. So this move, the spin out, it should really fast track advances in how machines perceive and interact with the world.
Which fuels everything else we've been talking about.
Right. It fuels everything from those agile warehouse robots zipping around to cutting-edge biometric security systems. It's really accelerating the race to create smarter, more autonomous machines right across the board.
Okay, let's try and round out our deep dive then, maybe with a kind of rapid-fire look at some other major development, just to show how diverse and fast-moving this whole field is.
Good idea.
We've gone from tiny biobots to desk bots to humanoids in hospitals. So how are all these different pieces, these disparate innovations, kind of contributing to the bigger picture, the overall trajectory of robotics?
It really is evolving on so many fronts at once, and the pace is just staggering. Okay, let's start with humanoid futures and the AGI connection. This is a big one.
AGI, Artificial General Intelligence.
Right. So you've got Figure's founder, Brett Adcock, making this really bold prediction. He suggested that humanoids will soon be as numerous as humans.
Wow, as numerous as humans.
Yeah, and he calls them the ultimate deployment vector for AGI. Basically, the body AGI will inhabit.
Okay, that's a big claim.
Huge claim. Then, sort of related, in the art world, you have the humanoid artist Ida. It recently unveiled a new portrait of King Charles.
I saw that.
And made a point of stating it has no plans to replace human artists. More about collaboration, maybe.
Interesting framing.
But then there's a more somber note, too. An official Chinese military newspaper apparently published a warning, saying that using humanoids on the battlefield could lead to indiscriminate killings.
Oof. Yeah, that highlights the serious ethical side again.
Absolutely. It's a stark reminder that these advancements need careful consideration. Okay, next up. We're seeing a real boom in niche and specialized robots. Robots designed for very specific jobs.
Like the bees, but manufactured.
Kind of, yeah. So Pollen Robotics, they're actually a Hugging Face subsidiary. Now they release something called Amazing Hand. It's a 3D printable robotic hand. 4 fingers, 8 degrees of freedom.
8 degrees of freedom. That sounds like a lot of movement.
It means it can articulate with incredible flexibility, almost human-like. Really crucial for delicate tasks.
Okay, what else?
In agriculture, Farm Robotics introduced an automated bovine health center. It's called SureShot. It delivers vaccines and drugs to dairy cows automatically.
A robot for cows. Okay.
Very specific. Then you've got Stanford students building an AI-powered robot dog called Pupper from scratch, training its neural networks themselves.
DIY robot dogs.
Ugh. And Chinese robotics startup Dobot released a 6-legged robot dog, Hexplorer. Apparently, it can pull forces 5 times its own body weight, so showcasing raw power too.
6 legs. Interesting. Okay, what about the money side? The market growth and investment?
Oh, the numbers are getting huge. McKinsey's latest report. They reckon the market just for general-purpose robots could hit $370 billion by 2040.
370 billion. Billion with a B.
With a B, yeah. And look at DHL, the logistics giant. They just announced a $748 million investment to expand infrastructure. That includes plans to deploy 1,000 additional robots just in the UK and Ireland.
1,000 more robots just for DHL there.
Wow. It signals massive operational shifts are underway. Then there's Tencent-backed Agibot Robotics acquiring a controlling stake in a wind blade company, Swancore, for about $279 million US.
Robots making wind turbine blades. We're maintaining them.
Potentially both, shows diversification. And Kraken Robotics, a Canadian company doing subsea tech, underwater robots. They just raised over $115 million, so big money flowing into specialized areas too.
Underwater, wow. Okay, and finally, what about the fundamental research and development, the stuff that enables future breakthroughs?
Still crucial. MIT researchers, for example, developed a new system called PhysicsGen.
PhysicsGen.
Yeah, it enabled robots to essentially discover the most efficient ways to move for any given task. It could dramatically speed up how robots learn and adapt.
So they can teach themselves better.
In a sense, yeah, more efficient learning.
Okay, wow. That was a lot. We've covered so much ground. So let's try and distill this. What does all of this mean for you, the listener? We've unpacked tiny cyborg bees, humanoids in hospitals, desktop robots for everyone, huge market predictions, deep research.
Yeah, I think the key takeaway is that this robotics revolution, it isn't some distant sci-fi idea anymore. It's happening right now, right under our noses, really. And it's challenging our ethical frameworks, it's redefining entire industries, and at an incredible speed. It's about so much more than just, cool machines. It's fundamentally reshaping how we interact with technology, and maybe even with nature itself.
Yeah, that cyborg bee example really brings that home. So maybe here's a final provocative thought to leave everyone with. As all these advancements accelerate, and they keep blurring those lines between life and machine, and as this market for robots swells into the hundreds of billions, what are the next unexpected aha moments going to be? What's the next phase of this revolution going to bring that we haven't even thought of yet?
Right. And maybe more importantly, how prepared are we really for a world where technology might not just assist us, but could fundamentally change our very definition of life and even intelligence?
Deep questions. Definitely something to think about.